Hey everyone, this is Dan from the North Country Children's Museum bringing you another science experiment that you can do at home. As some of you may know, we recently started renting out special science kits for people to use since they miss our Saturday science programs, obviously. Now in this video, we're going to be demonstrating how to do part of our Hey, That's My DNA science kit. So here's what you're going to need. You'll need some salt, 2 clear glass cups, a measuring cup, I used a beaker because that's what I have on hand, some food coloring of any color really, a tablespoon, some dish soap, some isopropyl alcohol, 70% pure is preferable, some distilled or even bottled water, just so long as it has minimal impurities, and if you don't have one on your phone, a flashlight. It's not critical, but it will make the DNA easier to see. Alright, so here I have 500 milliliters of your bottled or distilled water. That's about 1 full bottle. And then I have 1 tablespoon of salt. So you're going to mix the two together. You're going to stir it up. All right. By the time you're done, you should have 1 cup of salt water. All right. Now that you've got it stirred in, you're going to take 3 tablespoons of this salt water, and you're going to put it into your cup. So take 3 tablespoons of this. There's about 1, 2, 3. Do a little bit more because these were both, first 2 were a little less. Okay. So, what does it say? Now, with this salt water, what you're going to do, you're going to put it in your mouth, swish it around for 1 minute. And that is to scrape off a bunch of the skin cell, or the cheek cells inside of your mouth. Those are cells that have your DNA inside of it. So we're going to try and get some of that DNA, some of those cells, out into this water so we can work with it. So, cheers. Not fun. Okay. So now you have your spit water. This is water that has your own cells inside of it. And we're going to try and see if we can extract some DNA from that. So next step, take your dish soap, put in 1 drop very carefully. Very carefully. That's it. And we're going to try and stir it together. But you want to be very careful not to create more bubbles, right? We already have bubbles from the spit, but we want to try and make sure that the soap bubbles don't pop up. So just stir it very carefully, all right? And you can use a straw. I'm just using a little wire. There's a cat. You don't need one of those. So, after you're done stirring up your spit water and the dish soap carefully, so as not to create any bubbles, and just so you know, I transferred my spit water with soap into this cup because the end result I think will look a little better with this. You'll see why. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take 100 milliliters of 70% isopropyl alcohol, and you're going to mix it with some food coloring. I used green just because that's what I had. I want to try and get rid of all the specks. It doesn't dissolve completely usually. But then what you're going to do is very, very carefully, after you have your colored alcohol ready to go, you can take your glass of spit water and this, and I recommend tipping the glass very carefully. You're going to add the alcohol right on top. Let it slide on. Have a parent help you with this because it might get messy. So let's see if I can do it. Very carefully. Set it right up. should notice, let me bring this a little closer, is that there it should be a clear difference between the two layers. All right, of the top layer with your colored alcohol, and the bottom layer is your spit water. So what you're going to do is leave this alone for about 4 or 5 minutes, and you're going to let the reaction start to take place. So let's see what happens. Okay, so if you look very closely, after a few minutes, you should see some strings that look like spider webs popping up inside your mixture. Depending on how well you mix the alcohol and your spit water, it may be scattered throughout the alcohol, it might be in between the alcohol and the spit water, but you should see these little tiny strands that look like spider webs. And that's because what happened was the soap inside of the spit water started to break down the cells of your cheek cells. That released the DNA into the spit water, but it was still mixed in with everything else. So the alcohol came in, and what happens is everything else from inside of your cheek cells stayed in one area, and the DNA, because it's different than everything else, went somewhere else. Here, in this case, here into the alcohol. So here is why we can see it, because it sticks out and doesn't clump together with anything else. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope to see you guys next week, and enjoy. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe for more videos from Dan, Liza, and Amelia.